fingers crossed stuff comes through. Because
Twitch really crapped the bed earlier.
Well, Restream was looking a bit odd when I went into it earlier. It kept saying it said that YouTube channel not found, which was a little bit disconcerting. It seems to be coming through to. Yeah, it's coming through to that.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, well, go good through. Okay, it appears to be working.
Because I said, like, when you messaged me, I wasn't even sure if I was live on Twitch because when you check on your phone, it was like this stream has ended, and I didn't even have the live icon on my page. Like, I had nothing, so I didn't even know that I was live. I didn't have any counter, any timer. Chat didn't work. I couldn't update the stream titles or anything. Like, it was just broken, so I said, fuck it, I'm going to hit live and go and hope.
You should set up yourself. What you should do is you should get one of your Raspberry Pis with a little tiny little LCD monitor. You should set that up as like a little chat window for you.
No, you say that. I've got one right here. I've got one right here on my desk. I've got a 15-inch C-Force USB powered display. And it's got a full-size HDMI port on it and a built-in Nintendo Switch dock. So, and that literally sits on my desk, connected up to a Raspberry Pi 4 8GB model. And then I've got a mechanical keyboard and mouse. So I have 2 keyboards on my desk, 2 monitors on my desk. 2 mice, 2 keyboards, Raspberry Pi, and then cameras, lights, everything is fun.
Yeah, cool.
I've got no room to move at all on my desk.
As it should be.
As it should be.
If you're not being winched into your desk by some sort of complicated crane mechanism, what kind of gamer are you?
Yeah, if you don't break your legs as you try and step away from the desk.
If I see a gamer who can turn around their desk, it's just wasted space.
I was like, right now, I've got... Oh shit, my guitars fell over. I was going to say, I've got a couple of guitars just literally leaning up next to me. They're not even in stands or anything, they're just leaning against my desk. I was like, oh yeah, you know.
So the question is, guys, are you going to get yourself the KFC console?
I looked at it and I was like, I want it.
Yeah.
I want it, but I don't know.
Hey, I mean, Xbox has been using the heaters for years, so I mean, it's about time KFC got up with it.
Yeah, well, that's probably all, isn't it? It's a repurposed fucking... They just took the fans off or something. Just gone, there you go. Just stick your chicken on your graphics card. Go on.
Yeah, well, I've always thought to myself, what I really want to put on top of my game machine is something that's really greasy and oily that can seep right into the circuit boards. That's perfect. That's just what I want.
That's the best.
Just what I want. Having said that, you can actually submerge your caboose in mineral oil.
I was going to say, like, you can put them in oil, like oil
Yeah,
cooling.
you could. So
just take all your fans and that off, and it's great.
Perhaps this is what KFC is aiming for. Perhaps switching all their factories to oil cooling. So they're all switching to mineral oil, so that as you put it on your machine, you're actually cooling it for you.
Could you imagine, like, their fryers aren't actually fryers anymore? It's just their main PC that runs, the front of house kind of thing.
Heard? That's what the red ring of Xbox consoles went to.
Just dumped them all in the fryers at KFC.
They just line all the power supplies up around the edge of the fryer, and that's why if you ever go there, look, there's always like a red hue to the kitchen. It's because of the red rings of death flashing, but the power supplies still work. And there you go.
It's all good. It's all good.
10 Xboxes can fry a whole chicken in less than 30 seconds.
So just dump it in.
Fact.
Bam! Nailed it.
I mean, just believe me. It works for Trump. Just believe what I tell you.
We've said it. It's on the internet. It's true.
Yeah. Have you watched that Death to 2020 on Netflix? That's really funny.
I have not. I was tempted to because me and Iggy basically binged loads of stuff. Lack of sleep. Weird that. 2021, no sleep.
Yay!
None. I'm making the most of this year.
Yeah, but yeah, I recommend binging that. I went and watched that. We watched it on New Year's Eve. That was really funny.
There you go. Documentary or just a comedy or
sort of mockumentary type thing.
Oh, okay,
it's going to be a documentary on 2020, but it's like all got actors and stuff playing. So you got Samuel L. Jackson's in there playing a reporter,
there you go.
and there's all sorts of actors, and Hugh Grant's in there playing a historian. and they're all just like being interviewed for a mockumentary. It's really, Lisa Kudrow's in there playing a Republican spokesperson. It's just so funny.
Fantastic.
It's so funny. They've got like their own version. They've got like the sort of person who tends to be like sort of some sort of tech guru, like Facebook type person. It's really good. So yeah, definitely what I did that watch. I found it funny anyway. So
I'll have to check it out. Everyone check that out.
So, everybody, I'm the stuff of Graham.
Skaz,
I just haven't done that bit. So, welcome to episode 156 of the Randos podcast, and a happy new year.
We survived 2020.
Yeah,
Woo!
we've all unlocked the achievement. You made it through 2020. Yeah, and
like if you look in the history books, 2020 ain't gonna be there.
Yeah. So So I'm hoping, and I'm putting my little. This isn't a staff; it's a pen. If I was going to stamp the staff into the ground, the pen, ow!
He just impales himself.
I stamped down the lid part facing one way, and it went straight into the side of my hand. That actually hurt quite a lot. That's annoying.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to take the lid bit off now. If I'm going to stamp this down the ground, I'm going to say, right, we're going to book our Randos Trophy Hour podcast. I think I'm off in July. I believe it's either June or July, one or the other. I think both, actually. I think I'm doing half and half. By that point, Corona will be gone, or at least it'll be safe to actually go around other people's houses.
You hope.
I will have the vaccine by then.
Well,
I'm just going to go down there with a Zimmer frame and pretend.
He's an old boy.
I'm over 70. I'm in a vulnerable group.
And they're like,
are you really over 70? No, but I'm a PC gamer, so I live in a healthy lifestyle. Welcome in.
And they're like, yeah,
That's on the list. So it was like over 90s, over 80s, over 70s, and PC gamers. They're on the list. They know what they're like. This year's been even worse for PC gamers because we were doing what they would do. It turns to do anyway, but we've made it worse because we've actually gone full takeaway. It's gone terrible. You see,
they've enabled
every time I clip my mic, I can't clip my fingers. If I was clipping my every time I clip, it's a PC gamer die of a coronary.
Oh no! For only £2 a month,
you can sponsor a PC gamer get took outside occasionally.
No, they'll be like
this.
The graphics out here suck.
Yes. Hi, I'm Gabe New and I sponsor Valve Nurses.
Oh my god, ray tracing.
So now, mate, it's sunlight.
Reg used to play Dota for 22 hours a day and to sleep for the other 2. We rescued Reg from his house and now take him outside for half an hour a day, so only plays for 21.5 hours now. But
he's suffering from pretty bad withdrawal at this point.
There'll be just a picture of someone on a keyboard and it'll just say, shall we make it stop? And it'll just freeze and sort of go to grayscale and will zoom in slowly on their face. There'll be another one sat there eating a box of chicken. Shall we make it stop?
He's not used to seeing things. Yeah. He's not used to seeing things outside of the isometric view.
This is a video we need to make if we can meet up.
It is. Well, we'll probably both die, so it'll be the last thing we do. But
at least we'll go down internet famous.
Yeah, it's well worth it.
What do they do? They're making a mockery stew about getting COVID as gamers. What happened to them? Those gamers, they got COVID.
Oh no!
The worst possible thing. I bet it's recording all right. Yeah, it's recording fine. Oh, it's good. So how did you go? Do you have a good Christmas? A New Year?
Yeah, mate, I survived. That's all I can ask for.
Was Santa generous this year?
For my kids, yeah.
Well, there you go.
And I'm still married, so
nearly a year now, Skaz.
Yeah, managed to get through an entire year of lockdown, and my wife hasn't smashed my face in yet.
Okay, there.
That poor girl.
Yeah.
How about you, Ram?
I'm fine. I spent most of Christmas Day drunk and most of New Year's Eve drunk, as it should be.
Awesome. I was going to say New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve was the last day I was allowed to drink.
Cool.
So we decided we're cutting that out, and my sugar is down again. So I'm doing one of those health kicks with people again.
Oh.
Ugh. Which, like I said, isn't helping. You'd think, lack of sugar would stop me from being awake all the time, but it hasn't helped any.
Yeah.
But yeah, New Year's Eve, I drank 2/3 of a keg of Adnams Go Ship,
Okay.
among other things, and it was alright.
I drank several bottles of Aspals, 2 glasses of port, and some whiskey.
Good man.
Because I was at work at 6 a.m. on New Year's Eve, so I went into work, was 6 till 4, got home, because we went to do our Christmas Dungeons and Dragons game. I was like, I am way too tired to even be able to think. Dungeons and Dragons is a bit of a fit. I'm the DM, I have to think about things when I play. You've just got to roll dice. I've actually got to think about things. So that ain't happening tonight. Oh, so I haven't actually written it yet, which is a bit of a problem. So...
Oh dear.
But I have written it now. I've written it, it's printed, it's sat to one side, and we're doing it tomorrow night. It's
job.
basically D&D crossover The Hangover.
Right.
Yeah. So
dear.
they're all going to get blind drunk and wake up and not know what's going on.
Fantastic. Sounds like a normal D&D session.
They're going to find a direwolf for the bathroom. Awful fun stuff.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. That's good. But yes, chocolate and alcohol. That's all I mostly got for Christmas. That's ideal.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't remember what I got for Christmas.
oh,
So it's fine.
for me, you definitely got chocolates because it's like I have no idea what to buy. These people are just going to buy chocolate now.
Oh yeah, they went.
Yeah,
They went
I'm
quick.
not surprised. It's like my tub isn't enough, so I'll just buy some other stuff and add sell people all together in one big lump, and then I'm sure they'll figure out what to do with it.
We got chocolate, a box of meat.
To be fair, Moxie wasn't technically a present because you had to pay for that.
Oh, I don't care, mate. That made Christmas great. Because right. Hard fact, I'm a fat guy in a skinny guy's body.
Yes, yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okay, I love food. Like, I probably eat more than you on a lot of occasions.
Yeah, actually, you do.
When we go to an all-you-can-eat buffet, they look at me as if to say, get the fuck out.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, it's. I'm disgusted by the fact that you can eat as much as me, yet you're as thin as a rake. It's fucking disgusting.
Do you remember the first time we went to that all-you-can-eat buffet in town? China Diner.
Was I with you? I don't remember that.
Oh, I feel really sad now. It was me, you, and Weasel, if I remember correctly.
I was going back a bit. When was this?
Oh,
was this
yeah.
when you were doing for our foundation year or something?
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah. Was it like some sort?
Because it didn't last very long, did it?
Well, no, they got raided, didn't they?
And they probably would have done, given the fact that we went
No,
down
they
there.
got raided, didn't they? So
It was a fun
was,
time. How many plates?
having said that, Scaz, you say that we went down there tonight, but I remember going down there with a family, and you could see every if you went down on a Friday, there or most of the week actually, I was sat there, my family was there, and we were all sat there having off all you can eat, and then just at the doorway, you saw this very large family come in. I swear the ground was vibrating as I was walking down in.
You could see it in the drinks.
I mean, you see, I think I'm not sure he's going to get down. The stairs had rails on. I'm not sure he's going to get through the stair of the rails. And they sort of said, "Hi, hi." It's all very friendly. I thought, I bet they come here every single week. I bet they have to order an extra for this day. They have to order that family's coming. Better double the order this week. Because that was just insane.
They're only allowed in. It's not usually booked. You can just walk in, but for them, they're told they have to book.
Yeah. I mean, the guy, no word of a lie, got a plate. And you know those deep fried chicken balls? He filled the plate with almost like when you used to do professor rolls into a big, like, sort of nice dough, like Ferrero Rocher. He did that chicken balls. He must have cleared.
Motherfucker.
I was sat there, and then he went back and got a second plate. It's like, fucking hell.
First off, how'd they have that many chicken balls? Secondly, challenge accepted, motherfucker.
I was where I got my taste of chicken balls as China Diner.
That was a good place. Good place.
Yeah, it's a shame. That was a good place. But
Because they put it in. It was in Frank Colby's Sports, wasn't it? It used to be a sports
I had
store.
no idea. I just knew it was
before it became a Chinese
There's your
place.
fault there, Skaz. It used to be a sports store. At no point in life would I have ever gone there.
Oh,
That sounds way too active.
Only place in town you could get ice hockey gear.
Well, we don't get really much in the way of ice round here.
No, but our nearest rink was Norwich, and oddly enough, Norwich didn't have much by way of ice hockey gear either.
Do you think perhaps ice hockey just isn't very popular around here?
No, I have noticed. It's sad, really. But,
It's cause
I used to love going skating.
It's cause we're not Canadian.
Ain't we?
No.
Well, maybe that's where I've been gone wrong then.
No, hey, it is. We're not Canadian. We're just, Canadians came from us. They evolved from us.
They evolved
They did
from
evolve
us.
from us.
I will say,
we
we didn't take ice hockey, but for some reason we kept rugby.
Well, rugby. Let's face it. Let's face it.
Don't
Let's
defend it.
face it, though. Like rugby, we invented rugby. The Americans, who again evolved from us, invented American football, which is basically rugby but with armour.
Yeah, sissies.
So,
I think rugby's a pretty sissy sport to start with, but
yeah,
no, America, you fuck everything up.
yeah.
Rams, stop it.
No,
Diplomacy, mate.
no. So
Wow.
there we are. Well, we managed to get the first 15 minutes out of the way. That's not bad going.
Nailed it. But that restaurant was great. Food is good. And hard fact, I can eat more than Ram.
That is, yeah. I won't deny that. That is true. He can shovel it in a lot. I don't know where he puts it. It's fucking disgusting and irritating.
Mad skills, mate. Mad skills.
I assume that he hasn't got actually just. I think it's just a long pipe. And it just goes in and comes immediately out the other end. And it doesn't sit in his stomach and then get turned to fat like it does in me. But if I basically get... This is an empty bottom McDonald's bar. If I just sniff that, I've put on 2 kilos. That's how bad I get from... I've just got...
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I've got a slow metabolism.
Question.
Yeah.
How's your weigh-in going?
Well, to be honest with you, Skaz, as it's been Christmas, and I've been using a lot of my Frosties to freeze my days on my app, because, let's face it, it's Christmas, I haven't dared weigh myself. Because I expected to have gone up. So I'm going, because I've had like quite a few days off for Christmas, because it's Christmas, you can have a day off. Then Christmas was the Boxing Day, and then you have New Year's Eve, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm sort of re-signed properly as of today, and I'll give it a couple of weeks and I'll weigh again. And we'll see what it is.
Good call.
I'm not going to
Good
depress
call.
myself by weighing.
Yeah.
No.
Good call.
Yeah, I think it's a sensible way around it. So Gareth, what have you been up to?
As far as games, not a lot, to be honest with you. I've been dicking around with Google Stadia. Mm-hmm. I've been dicking around with GeForce Now. Mm-hmm. So that's NVIDIA's streaming thing. And most of the world has been playing and complaining about Cyberpunk.
Yes. If you're a console gamer, at least, generally.
Yeah, I suppose.
So it's interesting because back for episode 154, because we're a bit late to the party because Cyberpunk came out, our Christmas episode came out afterwards, but there was technical reasons for that, and while we did discuss it. Before episode 154, I said to you, Cyberpunk's due out in a few days. It's going to get one hell of a backlash because it's been made out to be the messiah of games. And it ain't gonna be. It just won't. No matter what it does, it could be like one of the best made games of all time, and it won't be good enough. And strangely, obviously it got some well deserved criticism, but it got its criticism. Mm-hmm. So
you've played it more than I have.
According to Steam, I'm on 31 hours.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near that.
So
I've got 7 clocked in, and a lot of that is actually just dicking around in GeForce Now. That's not even playing the story. That's just like, does it work? What's the lag like? Load it up on my PC. What's the lag like?
Yeah.
And go on from there.
So it came out. So it came out. Before it came out, I mean, just to give you an idea of how the hype had got insane, reviews came out, PC reviews came out just before the game got released. And reviewers giving it, most of them would give it sort of like 7 out of 10 or 70%, or around about that sort of figure. And people went ballistic. There were just people were sending death threats to these reviewers. They'll complain every little thing they've done. Oh, this is a reviewer who liked Animal Crossing, therefore they don't know what they're talking about. All things like this. One reviewer made a point about the fact that the game could easily trigger epileptics. Because I don't know if you've got... There's a sequence in the game where you basically sit down in this seat and they put this device on you and it flashes lights at you. And now this device, if you look for like, there's devices that are used in medical research to like give people fits, like people know to trigger fits. It looks remarkably similar to the one they designed. So you have a feeling that some graphic designer was Googling and thought, what can I do? Oh, that looks quite cool. Oh, look at the effect that does. That's cool. I'll copy that. And not actually think, this is the seizure-making device. Should we really put this in a game?
Right, just two things right off the bat.
Fix that,
I'm pretty sure the game does have a seizure warning at the start.
Yeah, about half a second.
Hey, if you don't see it, you don't see it. It's there. I saw it. So it weren't that quick. And I've played on 3 different systems so far. It's there. So if anyone has a hissy fit about it, it's there. Because someone actually said to me on stream, mate, fucking almost had a seizure playing this game. I was like, there is a seizure warning at the start.
The only thing I would...
And next, it's Cyberpunk. Neon, flashy lights, all kinds of fucking shit. What did you think was going to be in it?
The only thing I would say to that is that epilepsy warning is in front of every game out there anywhere. They always put it up because it's cover themselves. Secondly, that's fine. But don't deliberately put something in your game that's based on something that's designed to cause seizures. That's being stupid. That's like, they put that warning up there because there are certain things that happen, glitches and so forth, which could cause it, which you don't plan to. But don't deliberately put something in there which will set off a trigger off. And
Windows can cause that too.
But the other thing to bear in mind is those type of seizures people might not even realise they've got them. They could be triggered off. So someone could discover the hard way they've got epilepsy.
Yeah, that's happened to a couple of my mates.
So don't put the warning there and because it's a risk you can have them. But don't deliberately troll people put that sort of stuff in there. That's just plain stupidity.
Sure, but
they've changed.
Agreed. But the idea that people were so aggro about it, it's like, but there's a warning.
I think it's because of that reason. The fact that you've got there's okay. I think it's basically. I won't go over the point again, but basically, I think that's the reason people got asked about is the fact that they've deliberately put something in there which is based.
Yeah, it was almost designed to
cause it. That's if you're a designer, that's just stupid. That's clearly somebody seeing stuff. That's quite cool and doesn't actually bother to look up what it did, because it is. If you look at these devices, they look very similar. So it's clear what it's based on, and no one thought, this device causes seizures in people. Perhaps we shouldn't put it in a game. Perhaps we should make it look like it, but perhaps we shouldn't have the flashy lights in there. Perhaps that's not a good idea. So you don't have to troll people like that. And that was a poor design choice. Simple as that. There's no real excuse there. They've changed it now, so now instead of a flashy light, it all glows at you. Because they've fixed that and they've solved the problem. So that got a lot of hate. So that got it. So reviews get a bomb. Then the game gets released, and all I would say is I'm very sorry for console gamers, or should I say, previous gen console gamers, because you are basically screwed. It just will not run. I don't even when they optimize it more and get squish all the bugs. I can't see them getting that to a runnable state on consoles. Current gen. Or next gen, depending on what's looked at, but the newest release ones apparently runs absolutely generally pretty okay.
It should be mentioned though that the current gen consoles, Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, aren't even running specialized versions of the game yet.
They're patching it.
They're running the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of the games,
which is then patched up to thing.
Well, they will be. I don't know if they have.
PC games. I mean, I've got an old machine. My machine's now 4-5 years old. I think I built it in 2015, 2016. It's got a 1050 Ti graphics card in it. Not particular. I mean, when it was new, wasn't high end, but it was definitely sort of high mid range when it was built. But that runs it fine. I'm playing ultra wide, 2560 by 1080. Plays absolutely fine. in terms of like
has your because
frame rate,
the settings tend to change because it actually sets your defaults will change based on your graphics card. Has it put you on like high 30
Ultra?
or
I'm playing on
Ultra? Okay, interesting.
There definitely were when I first loaded it up. There was definitely loads of graphical bugs in it. I had these trees just appearing every. Basically, if there was a tree that was in that was being like had been created into the level, been instanced into the level, I could see it through every wall, everywhere. It's just always there permanently, and they fixed that now. Actually, what fixed it was a driver update. I downloaded the newest drivers. Fixed a lot of graphical glitches. I had this other weird glitch which happened a lot when I first played it. They seem to have fixed it for most of it. It still occasionally happens where. So, I'm an ultra wide. If I crouch down, it basically put black bars on either side of my screen, so I'm back to normal widescreen. But wouldn't move the user interface to match. So user interface would be covered up by these black bars. I'd see like the corner of it. But then when I uncrouched, it would come back. Yeah, so there's obviously some little trigger there somewhere. That seems to have been fixed. It does still occasionally happen. It gets a bit of confused and I go from ultra wide to widescreen. But most of the time, it seems pretty fixed. They seem to have pretty much fixed it in that regards. But I've played. So from what I was playing, I didn't really have any major bugs. There was definitely glitches in it, and even now, I've still not had nothing game breaking. I personally have not experienced anything game breaking. I've had plenty of glitches, but nothing horrendously game breaking. Okay. So obviously, you've played the Stadia version, haven't you? And
I've played Stadia and PC because I've got it on both. Because the Stadia version had a nice little deal where if you bought Cyberpunk on Stadia, you got a Chromecast Ultra and control pad for free.
How much do they normally cost separately?
Depending on the groove, I think the control pads are normally 50. Chromecast Ultras used to be 80, but you could buy them in a bundle for like 90 to 100 quid or something like that.
So that's actually a bloody good deal.
Yeah, I mean, I bought it on Stadia just for the Chromecast Ultra and the extra control pad.
As well.
So I was like, I didn't even really want to play Cyberpunk, but I wanted an extra Chromecast, and I was like, fucking bargain,
it's the cheapest way to get it.
For sure. So, so I got it on that, and because I'll be honest with you, I've got a pretty solid PC.
Do you have now? Yes.
It's all modern parts. The only thing that's not top of the line in my PC is the graphics card. But I can still play the game on Ultra. I wouldn't say it's a smooth 60. It says that my average frame rate is 50 in my graphics card's analytics. I'm playing it on Ultra, 1080p, all the bells and whistles for AMD. It's all right. It's playable. As you say, game is full of glitches.
Yep.
I do not like the way it plays on keyboard and mouse.
Okay.
It feels kind of wobbly to me unless if I rebind all my keys, fine. I just feel like I don't know. Sometimes it feels a little awkward. Sometimes actions that I'll be like, I'm sure that should be the E key in most games. No, it's F for some reason. Just muscle memory stuff. Yeah. Control pad wise, fantastic. Plays brilliantly on Stadia. Absolutely brilliantly, by the way. Load times are amazing. Like, there aren't any.
Yeah.
It's quick. It's smooth. It feels, as we've explained before with Stadia, it's almost one-to-one input.
Yeah.
It works very, very, very well on Stadia. So, for anyone who wanted to give Cyberpunk a go, I wish you could have got hold of that Cyberpunk deal. Because so here's the trick, actually. I got Cyberpunk for £10 off on Stadia straight away. I think the game was like 40 or £50.
£50, yeah.
I got it for 40 on Stadia, and then Google went and gave me another £10 back in store credit, plus a free Chromecast and the control pad. So for about 30 quid, I got the whole lot in.
It's not bad.
I wish more people could have got hold of that, because that was a fucking fantastic deal, and it's a great way to play the game if you're into it.
I mean, the game, for its graphical glitches, the game does look beautiful.
It does. It looks fucking fantastic.
You climb top of a building, just look out, or when you get up high and look out, and it's just the cityscape. I just find myself playing, just stopping and just looking at the city. This is...
I don't fast travel, and I don't drive either. I walk everywhere just so I can look around.
I've got a motorbike now, so I go around the motorbike. Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's quite the same. I will say, the only reason I find my problem driving is the traffic AI is terrible. The traffic AI...
It is.
There are traffic lights, but the traffic AI ignores them completely. The lights change, the traffic AI just ignores them completely. And you want to sort of think to yourself, like, do you know what, guys? Okay, you're having your own game. Why don't you just ring up Rockstar and say, hey guys, you've got a really good AI system for your traffic in your games. Let's face it, traffic in the game isn't really a big deal. It's not like the main selling point. Oh, we've got realistic traffic. Rockstar have got quite a good traffic engine for the most part. Can we buy that off you? And just implement it, save us having to reprogram our own version, because yours works.
The physics, the driving physics.
Oh, they're very floaty.
Cyberpunk is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah. Very floaty, very...
But then the characters in the world of Cyberpunk are also kind of floaty too, so they are there. They don't really do anything. You know, like you can run someone over and then they'll just get straight back the fuck up.
The AI in general, combat AI is better than it was when it first was out. It was pre-ropey. Combat AI has got a lot better. The enemies are a bit more intelligent. They don't feel quite super intelligent, but they're a lot better. But the civilian AI is pretty stupid. I mean, you'll be having a gunfight like next door to them and no one cares. And as you can run into people, and you might get a pre-recorded bot, but they won't react to it.
I've had people clip through me and everything. It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's got a lot of issues. I mean, I think it's also worth pointing out though that when Witcher came out, Witcher 3, which is the reason why Cyberpunk got so hyped up, was Witcher 3 was considered like one of the best in the genre of this RPG. People play it if it's amazing. People still play it now, new, and if it's amazing. My sister and mother played it last year for the first time. They played it before. They played a Witcher game before. Thought it was brilliant. I think what happened was people got they saw what Witcher was like and assumed it was going to be the same. But it's also worth mentioning that when Witcher came out, it was also incredibly buggy as well. It had a lot of the same issues, objects passing through each other. They actually redid they actually overhauled the movement system in it because it wasn't very good. And I think what happened was, because Witcher 3 at the time wasn't because it hadn't had the hype that Cyberpunk had. It was just a game being released by CD Projekt Red. People hadn't built up to it. And as it got patched and made better and solid, and people come to it, found this really solid patched game, that sort of fed into the hype train. So I think that the game will mostly be fixed over the next 3 months as they release patches. Probably over the next 2-3 months they'll release the main patch that'll fix it, or fix a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the game has had they released a hotfix for it up to version 1.06 that was released I think the 23rd of December. They released a hotfix, so people are still working on it, right up to Christmas people are still working on it, and that's fixed a huge swathe of bugs in the game. So I think it will get fixed. It will get there. It just needs to get there, as it were.
Yeah.
So give it this time next year. I think people have a different opinion on Cyberpunk. I think once more people got like PS5s and Xbox whatevers. What's the new Xbox? What is the new Xbox? Is it Xbox 2 or 6,000? What is it? If the new Xbox called
Xbox Series X.
But they need a better naming scheme. I think once more people have got those and they play on those consoles, then its reputation will pull back a little bit.
Sure. I'd also like to, all these people jumping up and down saying, CD Projekt Red, they're lying. They were lying. They announced this before the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were a thing. So just because you announce something before a certain generation of hardware is going to come out doesn't mean you're going to waste time optimizing for it.
Yeah, Crisis. Sorry.
Well, it is. It's this generation's Crisis. Yeah. It's a fucking bastard to run.
Yeah.
And you couldn't honestly expect a game with all of that new technology in it to run on what is effectively a pasty.
Yeah. Their mistake was
um,
releasing it for the Xbox One and the PS4. That was their mistake. They should never have done it. And that does make it feel like a cash, because they must have known it didn't run very well.
Oh, they knew.
And that does make it, that feels very dirty and feels like a cash grab.
It's even worse, though. Think about it, that Sony and Microsoft were like, let it go, lads. That's cool. They reviewed it.
Yeah.
They had to have reviewed it.
I'm not sure how, because there's plenty of bad games on console. I'm not sure how their review says are probably. Does it like completely tank the system? No. Does it make the system irreparable? No. Oh, that's probably good enough to go out then. I suspect their review is not on quality, but just is it going to fuck up the console? So.
Yeah, but there's been plenty of those. There's been plenty of those even in recent history. Yeah. But yeah, I think that was a little overblown. You know, and for all the people going, oh yeah, but it's so good on. Look at the PlayStation 5 version. There isn't one. No. Look at the Xbox Series X version. There isn't one. The only real way to play that game right now, until it's been specifically patched for 5 and Series X, PC and Stadia.
Yes. Yeah.
I actually went out my way and bought an Nvidia Shield and a GeForce Now subscription to take a crack at it and see how that worked. To stream Cyberpunk. I want to see, what's it like with ray tracing? Yeah. I haven't got anything with ray tracing, and you can do that with GeForce Now. And I hooked it up to my TV, the Nvidia Shield Pro, and I set the game 1080p, Ultra, AI upscale into 4K, HDR on, ray tracing, looks fantastic. Not a huge amount better than it does on my machine, on my main PC, but it definitely looks pretty.
Yeah.
That's another way you could get into the game. A GeForce Now subscription is £12, no, £25 a year or something like that.
Oh, really? Is that little as that?
It's not a huge amount. It's not a huge amount. It's like a couple bucks a month.
So if you said £12 a month, I would have believed you. So.
Yeah, I don't think it's that high. Or no, it might be £25 for 6 months.
How much is a Shield though?
Well, you don't need a Shield because you can run it on your PC.
Oh, right.
You can run it on a laptop. You can run it on the GeForce Now app is available on like Chromecast and Android TVs and all that. You don't need a Shield. I just wanted a Shield. Yeah. So I've got GeForce Now installed on my PC. It's right here. I can just click and launch the game from here. I can go onto my laptop and run Cyberpunk with ray tracing and all that kind of stuff on that.
Yeah.
So you don't need any specific hardware, but the Shield was something like £180 or something like that.
I mean, I've seen like the ray tracing. The ray tracing is very impressive, but it's not enough to make you buy a graphics card with ray tracing. It's not. It's
sure.
Like it looks pretty darn good. Oh, right, yeah. It's things like reflections that really shows off ray tracing, but it's like. One of the things that you're going to go, wow, isn't that amazing? But then you'll never notice it again.
Yeah, as you're running around like a madman, you're never going to notice it. But to play it on GeForce Now, there's a bit more lag. Because it's they're running a virtual machine with Steam on it, and then you just play the game. It loads up your Steam library.
That's cool.
Then supported games. So if I buy it on Steam, like literally, if you look at some of my time on my Steam library, that is GeForce Now time. I have to log into my Steam account, it goes into big picture mode, and then it loads up Cyberpunk. So some of the times that people see me playing Cyberpunk on PC, I'm actually playing it on my big screen TV on my Shield.
That's cool. That's good.
Which is nice, because I'm literally only just dicking around. I'm not even playing the game.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, that looks pretty. That looks pretty. Oh, look at the load times. That's fantastic. Just sat there absorbing the atmosphere. And I think, like, if you haven't got a high-end machine, Stadia and GeForce Now are perfect ways to play the game.
That's the thing. We're getting to the stage now. I think we said when Stadia came out that actually, if you've got a decent internet, a decent internet connection, you don't actually need to buy a new PC. Really,
No,
you don't.
God no.
there is really no incentive.
I mean, there are people out there now playing Cyberpunk on a Chromebook.
Yeah.
You know, that's fucking mind blown.
I tell you, for me, it's to date themselves to the stage where I can play things in ultra wide. If they do that, then there's really no reason for me to buy games on any other platform anymore. I might as well buy them through Stadia.
Yep. Just as a random update to Stadia, Ubisoft have Ubisoft Connect now, don't they?
Yeah.
They have a monthly subscription service. That's now tied into Stadia.
What, so if you've got the game on Ubisoft, you can play it through Stadia?
If the game is on Stadia, and you have a Ubisoft Connect account, and you tie it to your Stadia account, bickety bam. Like, so, for example, that would include all of the Watch Dogs games, all of the Assassin's Creed games. There's a bunch of other games from there. I can't remember what the fuck they are, but like, there's quite a few games. Far Cry, all the Far Cry games that are on Stadia would be unlocked for like £10 a month or £15 a month.
Yeah.
Whap that onto tie that into your Stadia account. Bam! You can stream all those games where the fuck ever you are, and apparently your saves cross over too.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's not available in the UK yet, but I mean, it's an option.
Yeah.
It's there in the States. So again, for people who don't want to go out and buy high-end PCs or you know, gaming laptops or whatever, I mean, Stadia is coming out on tons of stuff now. Android TV boxes, phones are supported on a metric butt ton of phones. Anything with a Chrome web browser, pretty much. You could play Cyberpunk.
That is pretty. I said to you, Stages, I think it's going to burst into popularity. I think it's still. It's not. I still think it's not sort. Hasn't quite got that pinnacle. It's still. I think it's definitely got stay power. I think it's going to stay. And as word gets out, I said, well, the limiting factor of it is internet connections. But actually, internet connections are now, for most people, fairly reliable.
Yeah. In the UK, I'd say yes.
Yeah. I know in the States and stuff, where a lot more rural areas are pretty screwed.
I mean, even if you've got a pretty solid fibre connection, though, a lot of people are going, but it's still not good enough. So, but what's the distance between you and the server?
I mean,
that's going to be a huge factor.
I've played Stadia, and I'm on a 50 gigabit connection, and I forget I'm playing a streaming game. I forget I'm streaming. Yeah. I forget that I'm playing the game. It's like I'm sat there in front of it. I completely forget that. It's that impressive that I see it. So yeah, I can see it. I can see Stadia definitely revolutionising it. Perhaps if you've already got a machine, you've got your Steam. Perhaps a better choice actually is GeForce Now, because if it links with your Steam library, you've got.
Although it must be, I've got a massive with GeForce Now though. I have over 1,400 or 500 games. Only about 150 of those are supported by GeForce Now.
That's interesting.
And that's also largely down to the publisher.
Right, okay.
Because Blizzard games, Activision Blizzard games, also used to be on GeForce Now until Blizz pulled them. Activision Blizzard pulled them. So you used to be able to stream World of Warcraft and stuff like that, but they pulled them.
That's a bit shit.
So, but I think streaming is going to be the future. Or you buy a key and then sync it up to a streaming service, and you can just go out and buy a shitty £100 laptop, £200 laptop, Chromebook, whatever. You got games.
Yeah. Lots
of games. Amazon's Luna is coming out at some point. I think the Americans have already got it in beta. And that's basically Stadia. Yeah. You get a fancy little control pad and a little dongle Fire TV stick thing. And it's basically Stadia, but Amazon's version. And Amazon also have the Ubisoft Connect thing going on. So you pay a subscription to Luna. And you've got, it's Netflix for games. Just a big old list of games that you can play. You press them and you stream them.
I tell you what's also going to be, to add to that as well, is now 5G is being rolled out. The idea of last year I went camping and I was sat in the woods, and and I had my phone set, and that's on 4G, and my laptop was connected to my phone. I was watching Netflix and Amazon Prime, just sat in the field. I didn't actually try Stage. I should have tried Stage, actually. I don't know how well it works with a 4G connection.
It's all right. It's all right.
But once 5G rolls out, the idea I could just sit in the woods playing a high-end PC game on my laptop in the middle of a forest is kind of thrilling.
It's hardcore. It's amazing. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And to think that realistically, like, your laptop wouldn't run Cyberpunk for piss.
No.
You know? There are people actually going, hey, check this out. They've actually modded their Nintendo Switches, and they're playing Cyberpunk on Nintendo Switch through Stadia. You know, like, this is what Stadia can do. But everyone's like, oh, wow, you can play it on the Switch. It's like, no, you have to understand Stadia is doing all the work. You think it's super impressive, but Stadia is doing all the work. You can use that on anything with a Chrome browser. So just go back to like bugs and that. I have had some nasty ones. I had one where you've got a scanner, haven't you? You can use to scan the world for items and objects and all that kind of stuff. One of my first bugs was pretty early on in the game when you go and see the I can't remember what his name is, the doctor that enhances you, gives you a fancy eyeball.
Victor.
Yeah, Victor. You go and see Victor. This is right early on in the game after your tutorial bit, so literally no more than half an hour after the tutorial. I had to launch my scanner, and there's a toggle and a press.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one version where I press and hold it, and the scanner's up. One of them is I press it, and it toggles, and it stays up, and I press it again, and it goes away. For some reason, old Vic says, dude, check that shit out. Hit the scanner button, and then it wouldn't go away.
Okay.
And then I hit both of the scanner buttons, and it just would not go away. So I was just stuck, slow-mo walking as I was leaving Victor's place. It was broken. I couldn't get out of the scanner, so I had to exit the game and go back in and redo that segment. Another one was around about the same section, actually. I'm supposed to be talking to Jackie upstairs. Hey, is Jackie in it?
Yeah.
The bloke from the start of the game. After you go see Vic, you're supposed to see Jackie. Jackie's supposed to give you your next quest. And I go waddling upstairs. There's the girl that Jackie's supposed to be talking to. She is having a conversation with an empty chair. And I'm like, Quest mark was telling me I'm supposed to speak to Jackie here. Nice chair. Where's he at? And it doesn't do that every time. Because I'd already actually done that section before. It was just like random ass bug, but I couldn't go any further, so I had to reload the game to be able to actually get that event to trigger. But once I did everything after that, was quite solid.
I do feel I've been quite lucky. I've not had any major bugs. I've had quite a few. If you class a bug as something that makes it, I've had nothing that actually sort of had me make me restart the game. I've not had any of that. I've not had any I'm touching wood now. I've not had any crashes. So from that point of view, it seems relative. At least from my point of view, it's felt relatively solid. I think most of the stuff has just been minor annoyances and sort of like, and that's just kind of down to the complexity of it all. Perhaps we should talk about actually the game. We've always talked about the technology in the game. Perhaps we should talk about the game itself. Gameplay stuff.
We haven't even mentioned gameplay.
That's what
realistically,
I mean,
or story.
So, for me, it's basically Deus Ex meets GTA is how I would describe it to somebody. So it's got these sort of Deus Ex lightish RPG mechanics, and it's Cyberpunk as well, which obviously has in. So you can enhance your character with augments. You can you've got crafting, so you can disassemble weapons and make crafting components and upgrade weapons via crafting, which actually works out better value for money than buying weapons. You can just sell weapons. They're all fairly lightweight mechanics, but it's got it all in there. Mixed with a GTA style, big, massive open world city that you can drive about, run about in, and have a bit of fun in. And you're a guy called V, and it's interesting because it's got 3 different starts. You basically start with different storylines. So I picked the corporate storyline.
I was a nomad.
Yeah, you're the nomad. And we have complete... And the storylines do eventually converge to one main one, but we have two complete different storylines. So how I was introduced into it, I basically start off talking to Jackie on the phone. I'm at my headquarters. I sort of say, I'll see you later. I go see my boss, because I work for Arasaka, the big evil corporation of the game. And I go see him. He basically tells me that he's got a rival that he wants to took out, and basically he sends me off to take out the rival. I then go meet Jackie at a club, and while there, the person I'm going to take out, her team turns up, and basically come with the past, whip out all my fancy corporate cyberware, basically leave me baffled wrong, freeze my accounts, I've got no money, and basically leave me scrapped off. And Jackie then has to sort of like says, "It's all right, I'll help you out." From which point on, we then get into the actual tutorial mission and so forth. That's how it happened to me. What was your start like? How did it work for you?
So for me, I chose nomad. So I'm just like some wandering geezer in the desert, kind of Mad Max style. Yep. And I have been given a mission to go and meet Jackie for a smuggler's run. But my car is broken down in the desert. I've managed to limp it to a small village on the outskirts of the city. And I get into some shit with the local sheriff because they're not supposed to be working with me unless I've announced that I'm in the city because I'm part of a nomad gang. I've left the nomad gang for whatever reason. I get my car up and running, and I try and find Jackie, and it turns out he's held up in like a random ass like scrapyard just outside of town. Idea is we've got a box from Arasaka, I believe, and we're just supposed to take it. We're just supposed to take it into the city. We go through a main checkpoint. They got to check our paperwork. I slip the guy a bribe. So, we have got something dodgy here. We've got something dodgy here, but, just let us go through. We go through, and as we're about to pull into the city, a bunch of heavily armored fucking cars turn up, and we're about to get the shit kicked out of us. We drive like mad, end up in a hardcore firefight as we're heading into the city. Jackie starts to freak out as we then drive into like this little kind of we pull a bit of a GTA and slip into like a side building
to
get away from these. Yeah, pretty much. And we hop out of the fucking thing. Jackie's freaking out like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, yeah, mate, we've just been screwed. Like, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. We've been fucked over. Jackie's like, well, what have we got in the box? And it turns out it's like an iguana. And then Jackie's like, oh, well, I don't actually have the money to pay you, dude. I was just going to take this. We were going to get through. You were going to get me through the checkpoint. I was going to take this shit and run. And that's then how that goes. We're like, nah, mate, look. I'm like, I appreciate your honesty. You fucking dick. And Jackie said, well, look, it turns out you've been a cool guy. I was going to bail on you. You've helped me. I'm still alive because of you. Now I'll help you with family. And then that's what leads on to the tutorial.
That's interesting because playing through as me as well as corporate, it's implied that you and Jackie sort of grew up together. And when you meet some of his other family, the least way it's for how I interpreted was that you actually at some point lived with him, with his family. So you grew up together, whereas also you didn't. So that's interesting. They actually changed the way the characters' backstories interact. They've actually changed not just how you start, but actually how they interact further down the line. That's interesting. So
yeah, well, it's neat because they say as the nomads, the nomad clans are my family, and he's like, oh yeah, man. Well, when you're living in the city, the street kids, we're all a family. You don't necessarily always get on, but you're family. So you don't fuck each other about, and yeah, it was neat. Cuts to that little montage, which I will say is a complete cop out. But yeah, the intros were cool. I didn't do the middle one. I wasn't interested in the corpo route. I figured someone else would do that, and thankfully you did, so I could see what that was like. Oh, so you done the other
one as well then?
No, I wanted to, but I can't be bothered because I've rolled two different characters.
Yeah.
But both of them I ended up going nomad. Okay. My first character I actually customized. The one on Stadia, I just literally picked one off the shelf. was like, fuck it, there you go, that's V off of the box art.
The most important question: did you customise your genitals?
No, I'm non-binary. I'm non-binary.
I did customise my genitals.
You know, I didn't know if I wanted penis 1 or penis 2. I mean, penis 2 is the much more hardcore sequel to penis 1, which was very disappointing. Yeah. But I decided I'd go non-binary. So, you know.
I went for the middle-sized penis. I didn't want to show off, so I went for the middle-sized penis.
You went penis 1?
Penis 1 was small. I went for penis 2, which is the middle-sized one.
Oh, there you go. Well, then penis 2 isn't the middle-sized one, is it? Because there isn't a penis 3.
There is a penis 3. Yeah.
Is there?
Penis 3 is the horse one. So
I'd only been told that there was 2 penises.
There's like small, medium, and large.
There you go.
But yeah, I didn't do.
Apparently, that actually affects how certain characters interact.
Yeah, I can believe it.
So based on your junk, so I didn't like the character creator in it at all.
It's very basic.
I'm shade blind, so I couldn't tell any of the colours.
Yeah, no, I had similar issues in that. Yeah,
I was like literally sat there on the character creation screen, like, what colour is that?
Yeah.
Is that what they're supposed to be? That looks like that on the side screen, but when I look at it on my character, that doesn't look right. So in the end, I said, fuck it. Because I recently shaved all my hair off. For anyone that is in the audio, they ain't going to know. But yeah, I shaved all my hair off. So I actually made my fucking character bald. It's like the first time in history I've ever made a character bald. I was like, I can't, and all because I couldn't see the fucking colours. I was like, sod it. I'm just going to have a shiny ass fucking dome. Screw you, character creator. I'm going in.
No, I did customise all. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time customising characters, but I did spend some time customising my character. But I don't spend super amounts of time, because most of the time you never see them. So 90% of the time you're not going to see them, so you might as well. Yeah, so that's cool. So I love the different styles. I thought that was quite a neat touch.
The intro mission was nice. I liked it. I just wish I liked everything that came after it.
I did read some stupid person saying the intro mission was when I say intro, not your origin mission, your actual first tutorial mission. Someone said it was like, ultra sexist because at one point it had like a naked woman at the bath and you sort of she's right in front of your face. I thought, I'm sorry, there was nothing sexy about that sequence. There was nothing. No. This woman who's clearly been abused and naked, you're holding out. There's nothing sexy. I'm sure there's some perverts. There's nothing sexy about that.
There's an entire section earlier on, just a little bit earlier on, where there's someone literally carved up on a table.
Yeah.
Right now, if you've never watched any kind of cyberpunky stuff or played any cyberpunky games before, commonplace as fuck.
Yeah.
Get over it. And this has been going on since like the fucking 80s. Yeah. If you look at the posters on the wall as you drive around the city, there's literally fucking titties and ass everywhere. Yeah. Get over it. It's just part of the thing.
Yeah. Yes, it is, yeah.
If you weren't expecting titties and ass in a game called Cyberpunk, you're
yeah.
sorry.
I mean, it's actually, in my opinion, it's done very much in the satire. Basically, just show how the world has just gone, as we, over time, have got more and more liberal sexuality and stuff that gets on television now wouldn't have gone on television 50 years ago. So as we've got more and more liberal stuff, it's just like the natural progression of it's now. I mean, there's a whole. If you watch the adverts, there's like a whole documentary, sort of like primetime documentary, sort of like reality TV. I said documentary, but it's a reality TV show called The Watson Whore, who's about this male prostitute and all the disgusting things they do and so forth. That's just a primetime reality TV show. You can watch. It's just fairly popular. It's all. But to me, I watch it. It's turned to such a stupidly overt degree. It's satire.
They take it to the extreme.
It's satire.
But then that's Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
It always has been. I mean, I can't think of I'm trying to think of a single Cyberpunk game where it hasn't been overly graphic.
Yeah.
And I've played quite a few.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single one where there hasn't at least been an instance of tits in it. Or a strip club.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So it's no, that's haven't it? So tour ends, you've been introduced to the sort of key props. Jackie sort of helps you get to your apartment, but you can go.
Yep. That bugged as well. I had an interface bug as well. You know where? Yeah. So when you get it comes up with like, this is your stash or whatever it is. This is your hideout, and it comes up with a green box on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. and that's supposed to kind of disappear as like a tooltip, and they're supposed to disappear.
right.
It didn't disappear. It just sat there on my screen. I was like, I can't see the rest of the interface behind this fucking tooltip. Go away. So I had to reload the game to get that to go away as well. Because I actually moved on to the complete next mission. I was like, it's not going away. Am I supposed to do something to make that go away? Or does it just go away? It was just sat there going, oh, well, here's your stuff. It's like, I've already done what you've told me to do. Go away.
One thing I also learned about V is he doesn't know how to lay on a bed. When you go to sleep, he sort of lies across the bed rather than on the pillow. So, but after that,
he's had a hard day, man.
Yeah, he sort of crashed out. I mean, I spent about half an hour watching TV because
there you go.
God, there's so much. They've made so much stuff for the TV. I was just watching TV. I was a good half an hour watching the TV programs. Because I'm the sort of person who, when he plays a game, will watch it until it loops around and goes, "Oh, good! I've watched everything now. I've absorbed all the background information. I shouldn't move on." But I think it's actually randomised. So I was like, I don't know if I can go for all this. So,
I haven't looked at any of it, to be honest with you.
Well, you see a lot of TVs in the they still see them like when you go like the lifts and stuff. They're usually one playing and so forth, and you can catch up through that. There's lots to read. There's quite a surprising amount of background stuff there. If you look at it, go for it, and read into it. So that's true. Next day you get up and meet Jack outside, and that's basically where the city then opens up. That's when you can then actually sort of go out and explore the city. This is probably my first, and it's a weird criticism actually, is there's too much to do. There's so many side missions everywhere. I looked at it, I was free. It's like, oh, that's a lot of stuff to work through. It's like, perhaps you could sort of like drip feed this a bit to me, a bit more rather than free. It's like, you've got all these things you can do. You've literally been in the game half an hour. Look, there's
I think they give you like 4 missions within the first few seconds.
Yeah, but then if you look at all the like sort of like what sort of like coast missions where you go somewhere and then the mission unlocks. As you get there, there's certain ones out there which you have to sort of go to the location of before you actually get the mission given to you. There's dozens and dozens of them straight off the bat. And it's like, because I'm a bit of, when it comes to games like some OCD about, so I have to do all the side missions before I do the main ones. There's so many to do. As I got a bit like almost frozen. Like I don't know what to do.
You had like a choice paralysis.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. It's like there's just too much. There's too much stuff here. There's too much. I can't handle it. But I sort of worked my way through doing. I sort of actually sort of like. What my policy is now. If I'm going somewhere, I will do the ones on the way. And then, but after that, I'm going to carry on sort of what I call the main, because you have like the main missions, the side missions, like these little missions. I'll do the little ones on the way as I go to a side mission. I'll pick them up and play them as I go. Yeah. And then I'll do some missions, go on to the main missions. I have found a bit because they don't tell you like a level rating, they just say if it's very easy to very hard. And I found that a little bit hit and miss. I've played a few missions which are very hard, and I actually walked through them quite quickly, no problem. And I've played ones that supposedly moderate, and I've been absolutely trounced every time. I've had to walk away. Yeah, sure. So that's a bit hit and miss. I found that, but it does. There's plenty to do. Let's put it that way. There's plenty to do. You're not gonna. There's probably too much to do. Quite cool. So you did that. We've talked about the crafting system, which is, I say, it's fairly straightforward. You need components. You just upgrade your weapons, and that's usually actually a cheaper way to upgrade your weapons than just either find. Sometimes you can find because that keeps your mods. Whereas you bar up and you say you can't take your mods off. At least I've not found a way to take your mods off a weapon once they're on there, which is weird because silencers and scopes should be removable, but you can't. Once they're on there, they're on there. So I'm sort of like generally sticking weapons I've got. The weapons I'm working, I've got a pistol, I've got an assault rifle, and I've got a sniper rifle. As you can probably guess, as my sort of loadout. And I'm working with those as I go around. And that seems to be a quite nice balance. My pistol is deliberately set up as well. That pistol actually will deal non-lethal damage, or actually just knock people out. So their points was like, okay, you knock this person out, mustn't kill him. Well, now my pistol, I can shoot my pistol and it won't kill him. which is a handy little side thing. Okay, so
Fair enough.
I'm not so happy because it's basically an RPG style, so enemies have hit points. I'm not so keen on the stealth side because it's very much like Oblivion and Skyrim style, where if you get a sneak attack on somebody, it's not a guaranteed kill or takedown. It's like it'll probably do a lot of. If you're great, you can do lots of damage, but it's not guaranteed. And I kind of, when I'm stealthing about, a pistol to the head should be it. Unless they're like armoured or something, that should be it. They should be down at the count because that's all works. Or at least let me have like some sort of taser or something that can knock them out. Because when you're stealthy, it's sort of, you don't want to get into a fight. You want to sort of like quick, and it should be about make it so that you have to like at least have a decent aim. You have to get them in the head, take it down instantly. Otherwise, it doesn't work. There's some risk reward there, but I wish it worked more like that. I've gone better at the stealth. I've played it a bit more. I've gone because I'm a stealthy, but I like playing stealthily. I've sort of got better at doing the stealth stuff of it. Probably also worth mentioning how the levelling system works. It's fairly sort of interesting. Again, almost Skyrim-esque in that you have...
See, I'm glad you keep mentioning Skyrim because everyone keeps saying, mate, it's Deus Ex mixed with, and you've said it yourself, to me... This is Fallout 4 with a cyberpunk setting.
I would say the leveling system is more in depth than Fallout 4. It's a bit more to it. Fallout 4, it's very similar to Fallout 4. I'll give you that, but I feel it feels a little bit more. I don't know. It doesn't. I get where you're coming from. I do get absolutely where you're coming from. I do see where you're coming from. Fallout 4, in that you have attributes unlock. As you increase your attributes, you will unlock perks on the tree, but you gain... Whereas Fallout 4 is a straight experience system, it's more close, in my opinion, to the Skyrim system, where you gain experience using the various tools.
Well, doing things.
But you're doing specifically...
I'm also talking about like crafting in the interface and stuff like that.
I would say the crafting system is better than Fallout 4. I'd say the crafting system is more simpler. It's simpler...
I'm not saying whether it's better or worse. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna say this is a first-person RPG, look at Fallout, look at Skyrim. It's nothing fantastic.
Yeah, I'd say it's a light RPG. It's not a super in-depth RPG. It's a light RPG, and it's still got the sort of pick attributes, decide where you're going to go, and increase your perks to decide to go. I find it's a bit weird that so you've got technical ability. You've also got like an engineering. That normally your technical stuff also affects your crafting. Not in this; they're separate, which is quite interesting. So normally, if you're good technically, you'd be good at like bypassing doors automatically. Not so in this. Your technical ability is they've separated them out so your computery stuff is separate to your technical stuff. So that's so it's close to Skyrim's nest and then to Fallout, but I get exactly where you're coming from when you say it's like Fallout 4. It has almost got sort of like a magic casting system in a weird way. You have your cyber deck, which you have a number of ram slots, which is effectively your mana, and you can connect to enemies, and you can basically like cause things like you can cause all their cybernetics. You basically hack them, cause their cybernetics to overload, and they get shocked. You can like cause them to overheat. You can ping them and find out all the enemies near, everything that's connected to them, so you can find all the enemies nearby for a few seconds. Lots of things you can like do things like you can make them more vulnerable to things. You can like get into disable cameras for them. There's lots of it's basically a spell casting system. It's its version of it, because some of the things you can do are a little bit like dubious. Like, would that actually be possible? Well, there's some functions that you can like reboot their optics so that eyes stopped working for a short time, which I think is quite funny. And then each one of these uses a RAM cost, because it's like your computer needs to sort of be thinking about what it does it. And RAM is effectively your mana as you use up RAM. So I've now got 11 RAM slots. Is it 11 or 12 RAM slots I've now got? So I can cast quite a few spells or hacks on enemies and so forth. So that's all the sort of main mechanics sort of covered off, really. So have you done any brain dancers yet?
I have. I don't like them.
Do you not?
Nope. Hate them.
Oh, I find them. They're probably my favourite parts of the game. Doing the brain dance, we have to sort of like scrub through and.
It was so slow, and yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah,
just didn't like it.
So
when I played it through on so I did it first on the PC. When I got to the Stadia version, I just literally anchored my character in one place, fast forwarded until it highlighted a key point, found the key point, and just went. I was like, not interested.
Yeah. So it's basically like a short segment that it's normally got like two modes. You play it like first person mode, played from, and you're basically it's a recording of another person's experiences. And it's a short segment, about sort of minute 30 seconds long, and you basically see it from this character's perspective. If something happens to him, and they'll do something and so forth. Like the first one you're trained on is a guy robbing a shop, and as he's leaving the shop, he gets shot. What they then do is they say, right, let's pull you out. You go to edit mode. The edit mode basically lets you, because basically the hardware that records it doesn't just record what he sees, it records a lot about the environment around him as well. And the edit mode lets you see all that, so it allows you to sort of like fly around the character and through it. And you can scrub back and forth, find clues and like access devices, found sounds that he probably didn't notice but are there because the system recorded it there. A bit like, audio editing, you may find something picked up in the background of an audio edit that you didn't realise was there when you had recording time. All that sort of stuff, to sort of like tease out the clues. I actually found it really fun because it's sort of like a puzzle type situation. So I found that quite fun.
So I didn't find it a puzzle because it was highlighting everything. So I was just like,
But it's sort of piecing
the game
clues.
is really good at highlighting absolutely everything for you.
It's like it does it's the classic thing of go find so and so. Let's put the marker right on their head. Okay, I think it's going to be quite easy for me to find this person. There are bits where you have to sort of like, it just gives you like an area and you just have to sort of like canvass the area, but they are few and far between. There's a bit later on where you sort of deal these AI cabs and you have to help find some of the missing cabs. And I said, I found one. You'll get to an area and it'll show you this big massive square. And you think, I've got to search this area now for this missing cab. And the thing will say, one of my cabs missing this area. Boom! Oh, there it is. I've just highlighted it for you. Like, why give me the search square? What's the point of having the search square if you're just going to highlight it for me? At least sort of like wait till it's within visual food before you highlight. That's fair enough. As soon as I'm within visual food, highlight it. There it is. That's fine. But, at least everything. So, I think that covers up most of the gameplay. I think we've covered off of that. I can't think I've missed anything off that.
That's pretty much it.
So, as you can guess, by 31 hours into it, I'm actually quite enjoying Cyberpunk. It's scratching the itch that I got from playing like Deus Ex back in the day. It scratches that itch for me.
Sure.
It's nowhere near as good. Nowhere near as good. If someone asked to pick a side, if someone said, "What should I have?" Deus Ex or Cyberpunk, I'd say get Deus Ex. Definitely, it's nowhere near as good. I had a look at the Steam reviews today, see what's sitting on Steam. It's currently sitting at 79% positive reviews. That sounds about right in my head. That sounds about right to me. That's probably where I put it as well. But I'm enjoying it. I'm sticking with the more. I would say if you stick more of the sort of side missions and the main missions, and not so much the little ones, you'll get a lot more out of it. The little missions are really just there as grinding missions. They're not really don't really add lots. But the side missions in general are pretty. I think some of them are quite in depth actually, and quite in detail, and actually work quite nicely. So I'd stick with those probably as more my other recommendation. But yeah, I'm only now on Act 2, or just started Act 2. Which, to be fair, if you probably just play straight through, just do the mission, you probably get to Act 2 in a couple of hours. But I couldn't get to Act 2 20 hours in. So
I was going to say, by the time you got... So when I'd done about 6-7 hours, you'd already done 12.
Yeah.
And we were at the same point.
Yeah. I like to save this type of game and take my time over it, as you can probably tell.
Sure.
So, but yeah, no, that's it. So that's Cyberpunk. So I think we spent the best part of an hour on Cyberpunk, but I think as it's been a big release, it was worth doing. So I've got nothing else.
No, that was it. I mean, I was literally saving it for this, to be honest. Because I'm not really playing a lot at the minute. There's not really a lot that's grabbing my attention.
No.
So. Oops.
Oh dear.
That's shamefully. It's just the way of the world. I'm looking down up and coming games listed, all the listings and that, and just there's nothing. There's really nothing.
There's not another Yeast game coming out for you?
Yeah, but not until middle of the year.
There you go. So you've got something to look forward to in the middle of the year. If we make it that far.
That's going to be an interesting podcast for the next 6 months.
Indeed it will be. We might as well call it the RAM podcast.
I'm going to be honest with you, dude. It probably will be. It probably will be, because I'm not feeling it. And counter to Ram's enthusiasm for Cyberpunk, I don't like it.
Well, that's fair.
At all. To me, it's Fallout Skyrim with a Cyberpunk skin. It looks very pretty, but I think the interface is crap. It's buggy as balls, which, as we've said, they will fix it. I don't know. It's just I don't find it interesting. To me, it's crowded. There's so much stuff to do, but I don't really think any of it. Doesn't really have much substance to me.
Okay, that's fair.
That just seems like unnecessary filler and fluff to make it seem like the world is much more alive than it really is. But yeah, if it's your cup of tea, go for it.
There you are.
I do wish more people could have got it on Stadia, because more people could have played it.
And more people have enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, well, that's it from me then. So we'll be back on the Saturday, the 16th of January. I'll remind Skaz this time as well that we'll be broadcasting.
Yep.
And you can also join us from Tuesday the 5th, where we'll be doing our games nights. So you can join me on twitch.tv/SuffolkGram.
And twitch.tv/Skazius, SK4ZZI0US.
And until the 16th, we'll see you then, guys.
Rockin'. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.